23. So we're going to start on page 23, just doing some multi-step inequalities. Some of them might have variables on both sides and so on. Then we'll graph on a number line. And just to review how you graph with inequalities, open circle indicates there's just a less than or greater than symbol. You shade the circle in if you have an equal sign under it. Okay, so just keep that in mind when we're doing our shadings. All right, so we'll just solve this just like you solve an equation where you isolate the one variable. If you divide or multiply by a negative, then we know that you reverse the symbol. Okay, so that's again from your previous knowledge. So we got 2 plus 3, we're distributing that, plus 15v is greater than negative 85. So we'll combine the 2 plus the 3. 5 plus 15v is greater than negative 85. And then we'll subtract. So when we divide what is 15 into negative 90, what does that give us? How much? Negative 6. So right now, what we're going to do is we're still going to put this in set builder notation, but we're not going, it's not going to look exactly like what you see on the previous page because we're only solving one. But when we solve 2, it's going to look a little differently. So for today, this is what you're going to add to your answer. You're going to put a slash here. You're going to rewrite the variable, and you're going to put set brackets. Okay, so when we read this, I want you to know how to say it. So when we read it, we say v such that v is greater than negative 6. So this bar right here, we read that as such that. So when you have to call out answers, you'll know how to say the bar. V such that v is greater than negative 6. So since it's just a greater than symbol, we're going to put an open circle on negative 6, and then we're going to shade it to the right. Okay. All right, let's do number 3, just because it has variables on both sides. So in question number 3, we're going to bring down the negative 7v. We're going to distribute the negative 7, so that's going to be minus 35. And then negative 7 times a negative 6 is a positive 42v. It's greater than or equal to 1 minus v. So we can combine the negative 35 and 42. So what is 42 minus 35? 7. So we're going to have negative 7v plus 7. All right, hold on. Did I skip a step? Oh, okay, my fault. Okay, so we'll go back and, right, we can't combine those. We can combine the 42 minus 7, and that'll give us what? Right, so we should be combining this and this. So that'll give us 35v minus 35 is greater than or equal to 1 minus v. All right, then depending on what you want to move, I'm going to move the minus v over because I want to have a positive coefficient. So I'm going to say plus 1v. So that'll give me a total of 36. And then I'm going to add 35. So I'll have 36v is greater than or equal to 36. And then v is greater than or equal to 1. All right, so this time it's going to be a closed dot on 1, and greater is to the right. Okay. All right, so take a look at the first two examples. And again, it's just like, you're solving an equation, you isolate the variable. Yes. So if you happen to come out and your variable is written after the inequality symbol, you will need to reverse it. But let's go ahead and finish this such that for this one. So we'll put our bar, we'll write the variable again, and then you use the set brackets. But let's say you had come out at the end and it said 1 is less than or equal to v. Because you always want your variable written first when we do our set builder for a single inequality. Then you would just reverse it, and when you reverse it, you would also reverse the variable itself. Okay. So just keep that in mind. If your variable ends up after the inequality symbol, make sure you change it. And when you change it, you also flip the inequality. Okay. All right, let's do one more together. We'll do question number 5. Okay, so I'm going to erase some of this. All right, so in question number 5, okay, we have negative 21k plus 56 is less than negative 8k minus 35. Okay. So since I like to end up with a positive variable, I am going to actually move the 21k over. So what is 21 minus 8? Huh? Okay. And then when I add 35, what's 35 plus 56? Okay. And then 31 divided by 13? 7. So see how I ended up and my variable was after the inequality. So I'm going to reverse this and say k is greater than 7. Put my such that symbol, put my variable, and put my set brackets. Right. Now, if you had actually moved the 8k over, you would have ended up with a negative at the end, and then you would have reversed it, and you still going to come out with the same answer. So it really doesn't matter. Okay, but please make sure that your variable is written first once you're done. Let's finish graphing this. But what does the graph mean to an inequality symbol? So if I say k is greater than 7, and I put an open... Possible answers. Right, so all the possible answers, all of these numbers that are greater than 7, but not including 7, because 7 doesn't have an equal sign under it, would be a possible solution to the inequality. Okay, so if you end up with a no solution, just do not shade the graph. All right, so in question number 4, notice that when you work this out, and I try to get all my variables to both sides, the variables cancel out. And, oh, sorry. The variables actually cancel out. So you're left with negative 8 is less than negative 1. That is a true statement. Negative 8 is less than negative 1. So this would be an all reals type of problem. So then you would shade the entire number line. Okay. So when the variables cancel out and there's a true statement with the two numbers you're comparing at the end, that is all reals. Now, number 6 should be a no solution. Let's work it out and see. Okay, but it should come out to be no solution. So I'm going to have 35 minus 7n is greater than 35 minus 7n. Is that right? All right, so basically everything's going to cancel out, because when you try to do your variables, they're going to cancel. And when you try to do your numbers, they're going to cancel. This is not a true statement. 35 is not greater than 35. So this would be a no solution. Now, if it had said 35 is greater or equal to 35, that would have been a true statement because the equal would have taken care of it, and then you would have had the opposite answer.